starting the first show where we literally have a comment before the show begins. All right, if it's Tuesday, that can mean only one thing. It is your favorite day of the week because it is the time where you, me, and my good pal Mike Fasolo talk to you about the craft and business of making comics. We have an exciting show, and Mike, I'm going to bring you right on. Mike is our non-comic book writer. Well, I think that's changing in the future, but Mike is our 3-time Emmy Award-winning television writer. Mike, are you excited about this show?
This is the most amount of guests we've ever had on at one time.
That is the most amount of guests. We will be having the entire writing team from an anthology that, guess what, Mike? I am a contributor to.
Really?
I am.
Really? I didn't know that.
I know. Waiting to read the story, Mike. It's going to be pretty amazing. And we've brought everybody together. We have some wonderful stories to tell around the anthology. Did you read it yet, Mike?
I have not read it yet. You haven't sent it to me.
I haven't. It wouldn't have mattered if I had sent it to you. Would you have read it anyway?
I would have opened it and said, oh, I should read this, and then probably not read it.
That's probably not true in the least. So here's what we're going to do, Mike. We're going to bring each one of our guests on. We're going to give them a warm welcome, or maybe even a not so warm welcome. I'm not even 100% sure how we're going to roll this out, but there are so many people here, Mike, that we're going to try to give everybody equal time. And here's our little slide deck, because you know we love our slide decks. And tonight we'll be talking with a guy named Buddy Scalera, who contributed to this fantastic anthology, which we will show you. I have a copy here. We'll be able to flip through it together. AJ/Alex Ampadu. I hope I got that right. AJ, we should have worked that out ahead of time. Ryan Cady, Will Pfeifer, and of course, Lysa Hawkins, editor extraordinaire, who put this all together. And Mike, we'll be talking about not just how to put an anthology together that has a cohesive theme, the way Lysa did for the Valiantine's Day special, but also what it's like to be able to contribute. And AJ has a kind of cool story and maybe a big reveal to share at the end.
Ooh, I like reveals.
We do like reveals. So, Mike, what we're going to do is we're going to get right started. Our editor, someone who constantly contributes to Comic Book School. This photo is from 2018. Please welcome Lysa Hawkins.
No.
Lysa, they love you. Lysa, this is from 2018. I would like to think that we've done this quite a few times where we've had you on our editorial panel, and you always give very direct advice. I mean, seriously, there's no sort of lack of clarity. You're in there, you're telling it like it is. And I believe you may have even discovered some talent out of some of these panels. Am I right?
You know, when I am lucky, I do discover talent, and that is what I'm always looking for.
All right. So, Lysa, just so we have the lay of the land, we keep saying Valiant, but technically, where do you work? And tell us just what the situation is with Valiant and Alien.
Well, right now I am the senior editor for Alien Comics, Alien Books. Alien is doing the licensing for Valiant titles. So although I've been working for Valiant for 5 years now, I am still working on Valiant books over at Alien.
Now, Lysa, you've had a fairly illustrious journey through comics. I met you while you were at Marvel. Where else have you been? I think you did a couple different publishers, right?
Yeah, no, I started in the bullpen at Marvel Comics, and then I worked my way over into editorial, which is what I wanted to do. And that's where we met up when I was doing an anthology for X-Men Unlimited, and I gave you your one of your first writing assignments then.
Right.
And because it was an anthology, I thought of you there. Anyway, then after Marvel, I went over to DC, and I was there for several years as well. Didn't do any anthologies there, unfortunately. And now I was at Valiant for very many years, wanting to do anthologies, but I was told no. But now Alien and now Alien is allowing things to change, and we are doing anthologies as well as a whole lot of exciting things.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. And as a journey goes, Lisa, I think it's pretty important to note that this is not a straight line, right? There's been ups and downs in your careers, and it's been a matter of just hanging in there, going with the flow, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It takes a lot of hard work. As I said, I started in the bullpen in production, and when you're in production, getting into editorial is tough. It's sort of like the two places work together, but you don't make that leap from production into editorial. But that was really where I wanted to be, and I was very lucky. I had some great mentors. Mark Grunwald took me under his wing and would teach me things on the side. And I just kept trying. I was lucky enough to get a couple of comic books. I wrote a couple of comic books while I was working in production. And then I just kept trying. Every time that an assistant editor position opened up, I went for it. And every time it went to the male editorial intern, until the fourth time, something new happened, and I was going for a job with two associate editors, and I'd be their shared assistant. And they gave me a book, a blue book, which was the old way of editing at the time, and it would be like the last thing you would do before it would go to print. You'd have this blue book and you'd edit it, and they gave it to me and said, take it home and edit it, and I did, and I brought it back, and sure enough, I got the job. And then I was shocked because I was like, oh my God, I got this job. Now I have to tell you, I'm 3 months pregnant. And I was sure they'd be like, oh, male editorial intern. But no, to their credit, they said, so what? And I got in, and that was it.
Well, that is a heck of a story. And I didn't know any of this. This is new information. And Mike, you would think that I know everything about Lisa by now, but still learning as we go.
I always thought you knew everything about everything, bud.
I really know very little about anything, Mike, is technically the way it works. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to find out about our next guest, Mike. We're going to see how many people will fit on the screen. We're going to invite Will Pfeifer to the show and to the stage. Will.
Hey, Will. Hello, everybody.
Will, this is a picture of your website. I've never seen anything quite like this. I didn't know that there was a place in land. Oh, that's on Infinite Loop. Will, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, little fanboy moment when I saw your name in the anthology. I said, "Is that the guy that did Dial H for Hero and that really good Aquaman run?" And it turns out it's not. Totally different guy.
It's a different. There's a different Will Pfeifer out there. No, it is me.
Guy. Yeah, Will, I have to tell you, I thought Dial H for Hero and Aquaman were tremendous.
I thank you very much. I had a great time writing those books. Yeah, Hero was sort of my first big, like, I'd done a few things for Vertigo, but that was my first big, like, superhero in the DC universe kind of book. And yeah, I had a great time on that. That was so much fun.
Do you know that's not the typical path where you go, oh, I did a few things for Vertigo,
right,
and then I got into the DCU? Like, that's not usually the other way, right, Lisa? It's sort of
it's usually
third or fourth year.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. The weird thing is how I got my foot in the door of the superhero side at DC is, I think it was Jeff Johns. Maybe I know he was writing. It was like a special issue of Justice Society, and they needed 1-page text feature of like a newspaper story, and somebody said, well, that guy who wrote that thing for Vertigo, he works in a newspaper. Maybe he'd write it. And The rest is history.
The rest is history.
As
Now,
long
please-
as the newspaper industry, which is also history, which is why I don't work in a newspaper anymore.
well, there's not a lot of newspapers to work for anymore.
No,
It's
they're
not
not.
like you can.
They're not.
Now, Lysa, as our editor, you go through literally a Rolodex that's 25 plus years old. Talk to us about why you thought to bring Will into this particular anthology.
Well, buddy, it's quite the same story as you. I brought Will aboard on X-Men Unlimited,
right.
and I was assured that he could do a fine short story, which was what I needed.
That was so much fun.
I touch over the years. Is this you guys just kind of kept in touch over email?
I tried to get in touch with him when I first started at Valiant. Well, I did get in touch with him when I first started at Valiant, and we tried to get something going then, but things didn't work
as they
out
do.
at that
Things
moment
just
in
didn't work
time.
out.
And so I like to revisit things, again and again. So I revisited when the opportunity struck.
And my career plan in comics has always been basically to sit around and wait for somebody to call me up. And
it happened.
Lysa, bless her heart, fell into
Wait
that
for
plan.
that to happen.
That's how it happens. That's how Hollywood works too, right? Mike, you just sit around and then they just
Wait. Eventually, Spielberg picks up the phone and calls.
That's right. That's right. And let's not delay any of our other guests in case they have just as exciting narratives behind. So who do we have next up on deck? We have Ryan Cady. Ryan, where's Ryan's face? Ryan, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Ryan, you're now the size of like my pinky nail.
I'm so small.
You're so small.
Well, I think
Are you that small in real life, Ryan?
AJ's.
No, oh, you're the looping thing. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you, Ryan. I was also familiar with your name, and then I scrolled through your website, and I realized that I pulled up the wrong website. So let's put Ryan's website actually up. There you go.
I apologize.
That was AJ's website. I ruined the surprise, but AJ will be next. Ryan, welcome to the show, even though I pulled the wrong website up.
No harm, no foul. I'm excited to see it. It's a little dusty, that website, but thank you for throwing it up there. I'm stoked to be here with y'all.
Well, we're excited to have you. And so, Ryan, same question for you, Lysa. What was Ryan's journey to be part of the anthology? Talk to us a little bit about how you selected Ryan.
Well, okay. Ryan is working on another project of mine that I'm extremely excited about. And it launches into a soft reboot of the Valiant universe later on. Now, this issue, or the Valentine's Day special, is a stepping stone into this future book called The Valiants, which is written by Ryan, and this future event later on this year. Now, it's not something that you need to read to get the Valiants and the future event. However, if you do, it's filled with Easter eggs and all sorts of goodies, and longtime readers will be very happy with everything inside of it, I think, if I gauge them correctly, and I think I have. But Ryan, anyway, is doing a smash up great job on the Valiants, and because this is so tied into everything, I needed somebody who understood my crazy vision. So
no, I feel like I'm right there with you at the corkboard with all the little strings and stuff.
Exactly.
And you let me write my favorite Valiant character, so what more could a man ask for?
Exactly.
Ryan, are we gonna reveal anything about the Valiants, or are we gonna be cryptic? What's going on? What are we revealing tonight, Lysa?
About the Valiants?
Yeah.
Sure. I can talk a little bit, and then I can pass it over to Ryan, who can talk a little bit. The Valiants is a book where we would like to introduce the new reader into the Valiant universe. Most of the books coming out of Valiant in the past have been very solitary. You have Bloodshot and Bloodshot's universe, Exo and Exo's universe, but you seldom see them together. It's very rare that you see them together. In fact, it's easy to forget that they're in the same shared universe at all. So this book is about exploring the universe in self-contained stories while threading a subplot that will lead into a super event. So
not bad.
We'll be touching on all the different genres, and hopefully all the characters will be seen. Everybody's favorite will get a moment to shine.
That is awesome. And speaking of a moment to shine, Ryan, I'm going to come back to it because I need to give a moment to shine to our last guest, who we previewed very briefly. Sorry about leaving you in the back room for so long. AJ, help me with your last name. Ampadu? Ampadu. We got it. We got
the cashews are great in this green room. I've just been snacking on these cashews in the sparkling water, so I've been just really enjoying it back here.
You might be in the wrong green room now. All we had was
SpaghettiOs and Twizzlers.
Yeah. AJ.
Thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to be here.
AJ, you're a tweeting monster, but before we get to you and your social media dominance and how you help create graphics for all of us, I'm going to prompt Lysa for the same question. Lysa, tell us how you came to bring AJ into the fold.
Well, I don't know if it's my story or it's his story, but I'll tell it. AJ, jump right in whenever you want to. I was at a panel of buddies few years back, and a gentleman stood up and asked how he could get into how he could be seen by an editor, and I said, well, you're speaking to one right now. And pretty much the rest is history. He went ahead and sent in a pitch for an idea that I thought was really remarkable, and we worked on it a little bit, but unfortunately that timing wasn't correct. But he never left my Rolodex. And when the alien thing popped up, I had a new opportunity to talk to him again. So I reached out and I spoke to him. And I loved the story that he submitted to me. And he's working on more things for me. And I'm very excited.
Wow. AJ, boy, she hope she didn't steal all the thunder. Why don't you?
No, not at all. I have to say that meeting Lysa was just probably one of the most remarkable times, points of my career. As she said, I was at a New York Comic-Con panel 2018, I think I want to say, around then. And yeah, I did the Q&A thing, and I stood up and I said, hey, how can I speak to an editor? At the time, I've been writing like crazy. I've been working on, journalism and a lot of other comic books and things that I've been self-publishing at the time. And I just wanted that opportunity to speak to an editor and pitch an idea. And my love for the Valiant universe had already existed since the 90s. I remember reading these characters forever. So I already had a knowledge and a large interest in the Valiant universe. So it was just kind of just like a match made in heaven when I got an opportunity to meet Lysa and pitch her my ideas. So the rest is history, as they say.
Hold on, let me get to the applause button. Hold on. This is where I look for the button. There it is. We got it. Now, Mike, here, this is one from the audience. I think probably a lot of people are thinking the same thing that AJ was talking about, and that is you got to get into Lysa's Rolodex.
Yes.
Right? You got to get Lysa's attention. Lysa, seriously. So, everybody comes to you with a different journey. You've always given great advice. Can you just help some of the people who are joining the call in the audience to understand how to present yourself to an editor and be remembered at an opportunity when there is an opportunity like an anthology?
Well, it's like really luck. It's luck. It's hard work. If you're lucky, present yourself into situations where you get to know the talent that you want to be around. You try to ingratiate yourself to them, and then if you're presented with actual work, be there. Be on top of it, respond to the emails, respond to the phone calls, get that work in right away, be eager. And that's what it is. I mean, just like any other creative and probably many other professions, it requires talent, hard work and luck. And if you have two of those three things, you could probably succeed. But yeah, it just happened to work out for Alex. But I am that kind of editor that if I see potential in somebody, I will hold on to somebody's card and I'll reach out to them. Years later, sometimes he's not the only person I've given work to at portfolio reviews. It's just, I'm the type of editor that I'm constantly looking for new talent, because that's.
But here's the thing, Lysa, I'm going to ask you a question. We're going into psychoanalysis mode. If you'd like, you can lie down on the couch. Did your experience working your way up from the bullpen, wanting to get into editorial, form the way you think about working with talent who wants to break in?
Absolutely, probably. I'm like I said, I'm always looking for that next person, and they come from all over. So I've given interns their first job at Marvel, and they still are working for Marvel today. I mean, so
As an intern?
That's great.
Are they still interns, Lysa? Are they still interns at Marvel?
No, they are not.
Oh, all right. I wasn't sure if they graduated. Lysa, there's a couple questions here. Lysa, Jim Garcia 98, not the same guy as Jim Garcia 99, totally different guy. Lysa, currently reading the latest Exo Man of War book. I read that you were going to keep publishing the book with a new artists, which is, I don't know if that you can have a new artist, but we'll go on. Are there going to be any news soon?
Yes.
That was don't give up too much, Lysa.
Yes. Look for a press release. It'll be released soon.
Jim, I hope that answers your question. Somebody complimented me, so we'll just add that. Buddy was that type of editor at Wizard, so I just want to say, thank you. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna give you a different sound effect.
Yay!
All right. We go back to the questions. Hold on, stand by. There's another one. Lysa, they ask, what would it take for me to shoot my shot at a chance to speak with you, Lysa? I'm not sure if I like all the
I'm kind of not sure.
What would it take for Devin Arscott to shoot my shot at a chance to speak with you?
I don't know. I'm sure I'll be floating around New York Comic Con. That's a good way to find me.
That is a good way to find you. You're not big on the socials, are you, Lysa? We were going to tag you on the Twitter. You were not really taggable. And Jim Garcia 98 says thanks and is a good sport. Thanks for the question, Jim. Okay, so as we start to think about this, Lysa, what are the challenges? And we'll be pulling this up as you speak. Did everybody get their comps yet? I don't know if everybody got their comps yet. This is a beautiful production book. Lovely. Ryan, you didn't get it. And Mike Fasolo.
The city of Los Angeles is underwater at the moment, literally
right.
Atlanta.
You can see the copies floating by in the river.
If I open my window, I'll drown though. So it's
So Lysa, as we start to scroll through this, I'm going to do a scroll. I'm not going to make it so slow that people can actually, read the comic while we're going. But Lysa, tee this up for us. What were you hoping to accomplish? And then how did you come to select this particular set of characters?
Oh, all right. Well, I guess to be truthful, we were looking, the Alien had just taken over. We were looking at creating a pub plan. I had always liked to do anthologies, as I've told everybody. So I mentioned maybe doing seasonal anthologies, and the team loved that idea. to my delight. So I was like, okay, but it was like right around the corner. So I had to like immediately jump on it and get the teams together. So I really didn't have too much time to do too much prep work into it. However, as I said, I've been creating this event and direction for the Valiant universe. And I thought, okay, this is a great opportunity then to tie everything together, as I was saying, to make that coherent, cohesive universe, and really center it around one, one event, which is what the book is based around. All 4 stories circle back to one event that's happening at the same time in the Valiant universe, in order to make it more, like I said, cohesive. And I think I've forgotten the original question, but
so you come to select particular characters. So you've got Ninjak, Bloodshot, Dr. Mirage, Faith, and Archer.
No, they're characters that I thought would facilitate the needs for this future event, and they kind of tie into all of the other books that are coming out in the next few months.
All right, that's fair. So let's take a look at the first part of the book. We talk about lost love. Ryan, you're on the Dr. Mirage story. Talk to us about what you wanted to accomplish with this story and in this short amount of time with the theme.
Yeah. So we called it Phantom Passions. I love, in terms of romance genres, paranormal romance is easily my favorite. And I just sort of I was trying to think about, this first page is perfect. One puts genius artwork and just sort of conveying the idea of like the words that we use to describe how ghosts make you feel are also kind of sensual and like romantic and stuff. And there's this sort of like melancholy, like sense of loss and grief that persists with love. That is sort of Shan Fang's whole narrative, right? Which also ties into the sort of what Lysa was talking about, the connecting event that unites all these stories is sort of not a romantic event. It's a tragic one. But I just wanted to try and explore that as much as I could and really play with these ideas of ghosts and ghosts of relationships and pay some homage to 90 Day Fiance and trash romance TV on a page or two where I could.
Yeah, and I like what you did here. I think you did a really great job of mixing locations, mixing what was special about the character with the television angle or the media angle. And I just thought it really came together nicely. Lysa, artist is fantastic. And so is the coloring. Any background on the artist or coloring?
Well, the art team for most of Alien Books, for the majority, like I said, of Alien Books, are all coming out of a studio in Argentina where my boss is from. So they're all new to me. All of these people are very, very new to me. So I'm getting to know them along with the readers will get to know them. I think that I'm tremendously impressed by what I've seen. And I really love Andre's work, especially on the Dr. Mirage story.
And it's funny, Andre and I don't know why, we had been like Twitter connections before this story happened, and we had maybe talked about working together. I went in my email and found some samples from him beforehand when I saw that you had selected him for the story. So it was like so cool that there was like that brief connection that we had maybe gotten to work on something in the past, and now it's really happening. And also, as I said before, thank you, because Dr. Mirage is my favorite Valiant character. She rules, and her husband also rules. Both doctors Mirage.
Yep.
Lysa, you have a question from Benny Decker. Benny says, "Thank you, Lysa, for championing an anthology. Are there any more in the pipeline?"
Well, Benny, it really depends on how this one does. I would love to have Tales from the Dead Side coming in October. And I would love to have a Valiant Holidays book in December. But it really depends on how well this one does. So we'll see.
That's a fair question. And Tales from the Dead Side is generally also what I call my own writing career. What else do we have? There is, Lisa, as far as projects go, we see any new Dr. Mirage or Shadow Man comics down the line? I think you kind of sort of answered that in a kind of sort of way, or no?
You'll see everybody down the line is the answer. There will be, because we just mentioned Andres Ponce, who did the Dr. Mirage story. I loved his punk, who is also cameoing in that story so much that he will be doing the next punk Mambo with Peter Milligan that comes out in April. So there's that. As far as Dr. Mirage and Shadowman, you will see them within the next 6 months.
Awesome. And just so you know, Benny Decker's mind is racing about thinking about the upcoming event. So, Benny, don't just make your mind a racing. Put it on pre-order and put some money on the counter at your local comic shop. That's the real key. So, let's see what we got next on deck with our creators. What do we got? We got Bloodshot, Will Pfeifer. Will, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Yeah. So talk to me about what your approach was. I thought this was interesting. Took it out of a remote lodge in a family setup scenario with the daughter and the logo shirt. I'm immediately intrigued. I didn't know much about a daughter. I haven't read Bloodshot, at least as up to date as probably you did. Talk to me about what you were doing with this particular tale.
Well, Ryan said he had a variety of location, everything. We pretty much stick to one room in this story. It's one room and then a little bit outside. But and it's Valentine's means a lot, romance means a lot, and this is just sort of this is a family romance. This is like a couple that's been together for a long time. They've got a kid. It's a lot more low key. All mom's trying to do is make a romantic meal for her fella, but he's not showing up, and so we have a little mystery. I really wanted the story to have some tension on who's who, what the real threat is, how it's going to play out, and all played within a very confined location, because I think that increases the suspense and, brings in what's always nice about writing characters like this and like Bloodshot and his family is, it's not a funny story, but they're such human characters. You can bring in some nice humor and just some nice, slices of life mixed in with all the more, sort of outrageous and crazy elements. So I've always loved taking, contrasting sort of the mundane with the spectacular, and I was able to do it in this story.
Yeah, you did a nice job pulling this together. I did pull it off the screen because there are
there's a few spoilers, right? Yeah, there's a
nice O. Henry twist at the end, and we don't want to blow it for the readers. But again, art it sparkles, it really crackles,
definitely.
And Will, was this a single room shot like in Hollywood to keep the budget down? Did you guys
yes
use money on location?
We had a very limited budget as far as the art goes. We could only use one set. And that's the thing with comics. Obviously, you could set them anywhere and it costs the same. But no, it was just for storytelling purposes. And this story that Lisa and I came up with I think it works better in a confined space. It just sort of it makes it more suspenseful, more fun. And then when things happen, it's all in that location that you've come to know so well. It may be the story that involves specific pieces of furniture more than any story I've ever written. But
I agree.
If you like furniture moving, you're gonna love this story.
It's a good story. It does not. It doesn't take the typical angle, Lisa. Typically, like parties at Mike Fasolo's house, it's drenched in blood, right? Like Bloodshot stories. Typically, every inch of the walls are covered in blood. Again, Fasolo house, they're big into that. What made you willing to take a different angle and not go with the big guns and shooting and faces being blown off and do something that was more about the people? What did you think?
When I came up with the idea to do this Valentine's Day special, I wanted. I immediately thought of a few different characters. Bloodshot was amongst them, but I wanted to really showcase different types of love and love stories, which is probably why I chose the characters I chose. Bloodshot facilitated the family story I wanted to tell, and that brought in Magic and Jesse, who are characters that I'd like to see more of, come back around and play more of with, play more of with. I'm not really speaking correctly, am I? Play with more. So that was why I said, okay, we're going to do this theme family affair. I gave everybody themes, as you know, Buddy, because I gave you one as well, to delve into with the characters. So.
Yeah, what I liked about the story, Will and Lisa, was this could have easily gone very, very wrong, right? As a Bloodshot reader, I'm like, okay, it's like a Punisher character with superpowers, and you want what you want. But what I thought was wonderful about what you pulled off was that you made it relevant. You included military elements to it, and also dimensionalize the character. So I think that when you pull all of that together, sometimes it just works, and I thought it really worked within the context of the larger package.
Thanks. I mean, it was when Lisa was saying, like, we've got these characters and these sort of themes and stories. I mean, I'm an old married guy with a grown kid, so it's clearly I could identify with this story. So
yeah, and I mean, you have to find something that you identify with, right? Like, it's just, you got to be able to, say, like, there is something special about this story, and I'm going to find it. And I think you did do that. So bravo to you. And we're going to jump on to the next story with, oh my God, Mike.
Who's writing this
I don't know what. I don't know what that I don't know what I thought that sound effect was going to be, Mike.
That was terrible.
That was pretty. How about this one?
Woo, woo.
Teenage girl says woo. That was my thing. All right, I'm going to just give myself a round of applause. So, Mike, as I was researching for this, I did not realize that this was neither my first nor my second time where my name has been in a Valiant product. And I have to pull this up, Mike, because here we go. On a Quantum and Woody trade paperback, right here, it says my name. They quoted me. Get it.
Look at that.
That was when we were when we meant something to the world. Well, I wouldn't say we meant something to the world. We were at Wizard. That was about it. That's all I could do. We didn't really actually mean anything to the world.
We were relevant for a moment.
This was this, and then I did a one shot, 3 or 4 page story with Darren Sanchez when they had cryptocurrency. Everybody remembers crypto NFTs taking off. You guys, hope you saved your NFTs. They're worth money now. Put your kids through college with those and Pogs. And then
the Pogs could have their comeback.
Yeah, Pogs and Slammy, the big characters, right, Will?
You know it.
So I did want to show you this. I have to wipe the dust off of it. AJ and I were doing some comparisons. I asked AJ. I hope he brought his favorite Valiant swag. This is my Valiant Master Dark beer.
I'm gonna grab something right quick because I have to show something off really quick.
Beer, never opened. Probably not a good idea to
open it now.
No
Yeah,
way.
Celebrate.
And then
give the viewers a thrill.
For people who have the Wizard Guide, this is a Unity Red. Hold on. Unity Red, one of the more valuable of the Valiant comics that you can have as a collector. So nerd out on that. And see, your turn's coming up, young man. Your turn's coming up. You'll get your turn. But right now, here we're going to go through this. Hold on. We see some. Hold on. Andrew Schnepp asks, I didn't know if there would be any more Dr. Tomorrow. Well, he didn't know that. I don't know if that's a question, Lisa. Will there be more Dr. Tomorrow? Or is he just saying, I didn't know that there will be any more Dr. Tomorrow? What do you think, Lisa? Will there be any more Dr. Tomorrow?
I don't know.
Have to find out tomorrow.
We'll find Mike for the win. That was a good one. Okay.
You are, Mike.
Toxic Hazard had a long one. Mike, you read this one out for me. I need a drink.
Let's see. I've been excited for every upcoming Alien book Valiant project that's been coming out. Really enjoyed Exo Conquered and Ninjak Super Killers. Curious if we will see more of the Psyots.
It is Psyots. Well, thank you, Toxic Hazard. I'm very happy that you've enjoyed Exo and Ninjak. Yay. yes, there will be more Scions coming out as well. In fact, Faith is coming out in, I believe now it's May. Things got moved around.
That's cool. Sometimes we fall behind on the question, so I have an out of context question. Mike, you want to read this one from Gatilla?
What was that?
I don't,
You know,
I don't know.
maybe it was the noise you were playing. That
Maybe
weird,
that's what it was.
weird
I
thing.
should have never told them how to find the buttons. That's great. Redheaded Ed taught me how to use StreamYard. I remember Pogs. We all wish we could forget Pogs, Gatilla. We all wish there'll be Pogs. Andrew is waiting with his wallet, wants to know, will there be any more Unity?
Well, Andrew, there is a book coming out called The Valiant, and it's all about bringing the Valiant universe together. It's all the super-powered people together. So, Unity is
They are united.
could be people will be seen, all of Unity will be seen in the Valiants. Let's put it that way.
That's cool. Okay, Glenn confirming it was the noises. So Glenn didn't want to put that all in one sentence. He broke it up into two parts. And then Andrew, we'll call him Andrew Cash Schnepp, is ready with his wallet and we'll be sharing. So we come on to the story that I was able to write. Lysa guided me greatly, and we are co-credited on this one. It was a lot of fun, Lysa, and I think what we wanted to highlight was this idea that not all the relationships are peachy keen, and not everything is perfect when you're dating and have a long-term relationship and you are superheroes dating. Am I right?
No relationship's perfect or easy, even if you're not superheroes dating.
That's true. I struggle with Mike all the time over money issues,
Love-hate relationship,
laundry. I will tell you that I chose an opening where it's about a trust fall, where you literally trust and fall. I don't want to ruin anything, so we'll speed past it. A lot of what I think we were going for here in the dialogue is some of that non-answer parallel dialogue where somebody asks a direct question about a relationship and somebody just literally doesn't answer and answers a different question, because I think that gives a little bit of insight into the way each of them think. We have superheroes doing superheroic things, but we also show them being mundane until we tie into a larger part of the universe. At least I was not familiar with this statue. You had to orient me. This is the EXO statue down in Washington, D.C. Is it still there, literally in Washington, D.C. now?
Well, it was put up on that day. It hasn't been put up yet, buddy. You're kind of spoiling it for the Valiant universe.
All right. Well, that's why. I'll just skim over here. Nobody saw that.
There you go, bud.
Trim that out.
Way to go, buddy.
Yeah, that ensures that I'll never write for Lysa. Okay?
Good
so
thing
what
the
we'll do
show's
is we'll
live.
take this off so I don't blow more of the story. Lysa, this story was a great joy for me, and I happen to say that you really did help shape my addled ADHD brain, which Mike lives with weekly with me. But thank you for corralling thoughts, because thoughts are hard for me. Thinky thoughts are hard for me.
Well, you did a great job.
And the art was good, very charming. And I won't say anything else in case I just revealed anything else that you don't want to reveal. Because
the artist that is doing that short story is also going to be doing the short story, or not the short story. Forgive me to be doing Faith. She'll be doing the Faith, two-parter.
Yep, I am skipping ahead so I don't ruin any further things. Benny is up.
You can show all of Ninjak. That's not a problem, or the majority. Don't spoil the ending.
That's okay. Benny and Andrew are going to be racing to the counter to spend money. Benny asks, "Is there any chance that Archer and Armstrong Forever could be continued?"
Benny, you're breaking my heart, dude. No. Archer
Oh,
and Armstrong forever. Sea Fox is not available to continue. So that specific storyline, since I don't have him, I don't want to continue with it. We're putting a pause in that storyline. However, Benny, it's okay, because A&A are coming back, and I am absolutely going to be acknowledging all the continuity that was set up with Steve, because I don't ignore continuity. So you will see A&A very shortly.
Fantastic. Mike, I need a drink of water. Can you read the next question for us?
sure. Hi. That's not really a question.
Hi.
All right, Mike, you actually get here. Do a full question. Go ahead.
Let's see. I've noticed that the Valiant books have been bigger than previous iterations, cost more too. Is this the norm going forward? Any plans for OGN books in the Valiant universe?
Oh, you gotta do these tough ones, Devin. No, it's not the plan. We're going back to floppies. We had an idea. We're pivoting course. So no, it's going to be floppies, monthly floppies, not prestige books anymore. Starting in May for sure. But April with Bloodshot will be a floppy as well.
Awesome. That sounds good. And just a warning, spoiler alert, but not in the next section. We will be pulling up the next section. We are now in your story, AJ. Last but certainly not least, you regaled us with a wonderful Ninjak story, which apparently does not have any spoilers, but I won't show the last 2 pages. All right.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to accomplish with this story, AJ.
Right. So the many loves of Ninjak. I was graciously approached by Lysa to work on the story, and she pitched me this idea, and we built it up to pretty much the concept of, what if all your ex-girlfriends wanted to come and kill you? It's sort of a bloody Valentine. I know, right? Ask the Tinder swindler. It's kind of like a bloody Valentine story. It's almost like the ghosts of Valentine's past. You know, Colin has these different relationships that he's been in with, as many of you know, Angelina, who eventually becomes Roku, and you also have Amanda Livewire, and his relationships with these characters are each very different. So we kind of came up with this idea of, what if suddenly Ninjak, for some reason, is seeing all of these women and they're trying to kill him. And if Buddy doesn't hit the last couple of pages,
no, I'm not going to do it, because I just feel like I feel like we're ruining some of it.
Yeah, perfect timing. Yeah, well, you'll discover why that happened, and I will also say in the respecting continuity, and I also really appreciate how Lysa really has an affinity for continuity. There are some story plot points that we are laying the seeds for future storylines. I'll just say that.
That sounds good. Congratulations. Now, this is a pretty big deal for you.
Huge deal.
And I'm going to do this for all of you guys. We're gonna pop some champagne.
I should be sipping wine out of this my Ninjak coffee mug.
There you go. So you're all sipping wine. So just show us that Valiant swag, because I think you said you had some pretty good swag yourself. Hold on.
Well, this was the main one. I honestly, I drink tea out of this. It's my favorite coffee mug because it's so large. Ninjak has a big head. Maybe it's his ego. And I honestly, I really bought this a long time ago. Before I met Lysa, it was kind of like a full circle moment for me to actually be working on this character. So once again, I can't thank Lysa enough. I can't thank the fans enough for giving me a shot at this character. I think you guys are going to enjoy what we've come up with, and I can't wait for you guys to read it.
I love that. What a great attitude. AJ, and you have promised me that you'll be doing a follow-up visit to talk specifically about your journey from being an audience member. And what was the line, 10 feet away? Just tell me what that was.
Yeah, so there's a 10-foot difference between, being in the stands and being on the stage, right? So how do you cross that 10 feet?
And we're gonna
It's
have you-
inspired by a line from one of my rapper friends, Homeboy Sandman. Shout out Homeboy Sandman, one of his rap lines.
So you're going to be coming back in a couple weeks. You'll be talking about your journey, because I think while it's great that we talk about mega superstars like me on the show, on millions of dollars,
we all stand in your shadow, buddy.
all stand in my shadow. Mostly it's a wider shadow, not a very tall shadow. While Mark Waid and great writers like Brian Michael Bendis are wonderful, instructional, I think a lot of the audience can relate to AJ's journey, and I think AJ's journey it should be an inspiration for all of us. And Lisa, thank you for giving a guy like AJ a shot, guy that has just clawed his way up, being consistent, and I think he really took the opportunity to prove himself, and he knocked it out of the park.
It takes a lot of courage to take a chance on somebody new, and a lot of editors would not do that. So the fact that Lisa did that, it really, really proves that she's willing to do whatever it takes to craft the best stories.
Lisa, you are, and thank you, Lisa, for bringing all of us on. You are the best. I give it a little heart thing. Hold on, Mike. Do the thing, Mike. See if you could do the heart again. See if Mike can do the heart. Seems to only work for Mike. There you go. That's your Valentine's heart.
Oh,
I don't know. You could all try it. I can't see it. Only
I
Mike.
love it.
Only Mike got the heart. Okay, so we have a couple questions. We're going to throw it out to you. Looking forward to the next installment of Rye.
Rye's my baby. I love
Rye's your
Rye.
baby.
Yay.
Devin Arscott says, thank goodness I'm a big floppy buyer, and I didn't know if the prestige editions were the norm, lol. So, floppies, I think, gives you a chance to see if you like something and not have a big commitment, right? In 20 pages, if you're going to like it or not. So I think that floppies are helpful. Andrew says, AJ, I want to say congratulations on writing Ninjak, but much like how Ryan talked about, his dream character is Ninjak, the character you wanted to write the most.
Okay. Is in the Valiant universe, I'm going to assume that's what he's asking. Is this? I won't say this is the character I wanted to write the most. That's not saying that I didn't have a great time writing the character. Lisa and I actually spoke about another character that I'm very much interested in, and maybe one day I'll get a chance to write that character. I don't want to divulge too much, but I don't want to say just because he isn't my number one Valiant character that he's not one of my favorites.
Well, that's a good answer. Mike, you want to take the next question?
Hi. Is that going to be another one of those? AJ, congrats again on writing Ninjak. I never got to ask you before, but what is your favorite story featuring the character outside of your story?
Ooh, great question. Since I've been reading a lot, doing a lot of research, I really do enjoy the Weaponeer run and the assault on King's Castle. Anytime we can break our character down to his essence, make him super vulnerable is what I like. So when Ninjak kind of loses everything and Roku is kind of taking him apart at the seams, I really enjoyed that storyline. Wow. It's tough. It's really everything that's kind of come before me. All the Matt Kent stuff, the Colin Bunn stuff, the Ninja K series, super inspirational to me for what I'm writing. And honestly, I'm kind of pulling together threads of all those storylines in what we're doing with Ninjak. So I'm super excited. But if I had to say one specific storyline, probably the Weaponeer run.
That is awesome. And now we're going to get to the part of the show where we ask you, what is one piece of advice you wish you had received early in your career? And Lisa, since you have done this no less than 5 times on panels, Lisa.
All right, well, buddy, be prepared to hear the same answer, buddy. My suggestion would be to, as I was saying before, get to know people. Really get to know the freelancer, the person that you're trying to seek, and go to conventions and hang out after the conventions. go to I'm sorry, I stopped to read that. Go to the bars and hang out in the bars after the convention, because people will be hanging out and their guards will be down, and it's a good way to get to know people. Don't be pushy, don't be rude, just hang out. The one tip I would say is don't feel the need to drink with the people there. I tried to keep up when I was younger, and that wasn't always such a great idea. So maybe, just to hang out and get to know people. And really, it's a very small industry. So the more people you get to know, the more likely the chance somebody will remember you and call you and say, hey, would you like a chance writing this story?
I love it. That is a great piece of advice. And then we're going to just move. Ryan, you're in the hot seat. Here we go. Hold on, Ryan. Here we go. Ryan, what's one piece of advice you wish you had received earlier in your career?
I always say to questions like this, I always say, find your cohort, by which I mean, I always sort of think about when I was starting out, I really wanted to make friends with the creators that I viewed as sort of like one step ahead of me, which is, nebulous, whatever. But I was like, oh, these are the people that I directly look up to. They're my people who are like one step ahead of me, more successful in the industry. I really want their advice. I want their time. I want to make a good impression on them. And I really wish what I hadn't done instead. I ended up doing this, but I wish I had just embraced this from the beginning. Is making friends with people who were sort of at the same career level. Obviously that's nebulous, that I was, but also we're sort of trying to do the same things, and we could sort of help each other out. I'm very grateful for that cohort that I have now of people who are, trying to do the same things that I am, who are sort of entering the industry at the same level that I was, who are, sort of working together and collaborating, and more being like, oh, well, wow, we're just getting our first sort of big 2 gig at the same time, or, oh, I got this gig, and actually, I don't think this would be a good fit for me. So, but I know my good friend who I also, talk to a lot, and we sort of share, our troubles and our goals together. They are actually more suited to this genre. So maybe I could give them that opportunity, and then they might give me another opportunity later. I don't know. Just sort of, rather than, it's a really mercenary industry, and it's really easy to see people who are at the same level as you are. And obviously that's sort of, it's silly even to think of your job in terms of levels, but it's easy to see those people as pure competition, when instead you should be lifting each other up and working together and sort of providing that support structure.
That sounds really good. Now, Will, we're going to bring you over here, and we're going to ask you the same question. Let me give you a minute to read it out for the clip. What's one piece of advice you wish you had received early in your career?
Well, I mentioned earlier, kind of semi-jokingly, that I worked at a newspaper for a long time. And to be honest, that's where I got some of the best training for working in comics, because the two things you have to do a newspaper is you have to hit deadlines, and believe me, your job as a writer or creator is to make your editor's job easier. And so hit those deadlines, get them in, get your stuff in on time, or even early if you can. So then, revisions are easier and that kind of thing, which brings me to revisions. Be flexible. This is not, unless you're self-printing your own comic, which I've done, and which is great, and which is fun, and which some great comics have obviously come out of, you're working as part of a team. So be willing to hear other people's opinions, especially people who may know better than you, and people who, can step back from your story and say, hey, it might work better if we did it this way. And I mean, I've worked with Lysa several times, and it's always been great because she really brings, she brings a lot to the table. And the best editors aren't necessarily saying, do this, do this, do this. They're saying, this doesn't quite work. How would you solve it? And then the creative process gets better. And if you're lucky, you're going to learn something in the process. So the next time you turn in a script or artwork or whatever, you'll bring something new to it that you wouldn't have had before if you had been inflexible. So just get your stuff in on time and be easy to work with. Those are my 2 bits of advice.
I like those. That's very good. Okay, AJ.
Yeah, a piece of advice.
Let me get it up. I got to do the readout. Hold on. It's very, very important because
Gotta find the button.
These clips get millions of views on TalkTick, and everybody loves them. Hold on. AJ, what's one piece of advice you wish you had received early in your career?
Always show up. I know some of you guys are probably Curb Your Enthusiasm fans. And the actress who plays Susie on that show, she talks about how she was doing a comedy club at like 3 a.m. in like Lower Manhattan, didn't, think that anybody was in the crowd, but because she had a philosophy of always showing up, she gave it her best. Turns out Larry David was in the crowd, and that's how she got the job. And that story was very similar to how I met Lysa. Was just like always putting your best foot forward, and you never know who you're going to meet. You never know what opportunity is going to land in your lap. So you always have to be a 10 out of 10. You always have to have your best foot forward. The other piece of advice I would say is do research. Research everything. Research characters you want to work on, research companies you want to work for, research people. It's super easy to research people and find out information about people you want to get to know with, or people you want to interact with and network with. The internet is a wealth of information, and definitely use it as a weapon in your pathway in your journey.
That is great, guys. This was great. I have to say thank you so much. There's millions of questions flowing in, but really we're about at time. In about another 7 minutes, Mike turns into a pumpkin and the dress he is wearing becomes rags again. So let me just do a quick round robin. I'm going to start with you, Ryan. Ryan, is there anything that's coming out that we should be looking for from you?
Sure. In a few weeks, Marvel is releasing Aliens Black, White, and Blood issue 1, and I have a really spectacular story in there with Devmalia Promenade that I'm really excited about. Aliens is like the greatest franchise in human history, so please pick it up. And then other than that, just little things here and there. A creator-owned book called Wolfsbane with Rocket Ship Entertainment that'll be available in stores in a few months.
Awesome. Great.
Thank you.
AJ, you're next. Anything that we should be looking for from you?
Yes, I was actually just posting in the chat. I am about to run a Kickstarter soon for the next volume of my Space Cowboy comic, Kimmy Cosmic. Space Cowboy who has to unravel the mystery of her half-human heritage to prevent an evil corporation from enslaving her people. We kickstarted that volume about 1.5 years ago, so we're doing the second volume. So head over to my Kickstarter, which I'm going to post, so you guys can follow that. But for Valiant related stuff, I don't know if I can talk about it. Lisa, can we?
You can talk about it.
All right. So yeah, Ninjak versus Roku. We are going to be doing a series called Ninjak versus Roku. One mission, 2 ninjas. Will they solve the mission or kill each other first? And these characters have a long history. And there's a lot to be excited about for this. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be violent. And I'm having a blast writing it. So look out for Ninjak versus Roku coming later this year.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
That's the perfect sound effect.
That was the sound. That's the sound effect. Will Pfeifer. Will, what do you got? Is there anything we should be looking for from you?
I don't know if you've heard about it, but I've got this book called A Very Valiant. I've got a story in this. Other than that, no real comics work on the immediate horizon, but I'm on the socials, so if something comes up, you'll find it out there. So
yeah, I think it is worth noting. This was timed very carefully. Hold on, let me just pull it up real quick. This book drops tomorrow at your local comic shop. So support your local comic book retailers. If they don't have it, ask them to reorder it. Somebody had asked if they could download it digitally or get it on the Amazon website. I have no idea. Lisa, any insights on where people could go get these comics?
Well, the Amazon thing is to come out. That doesn't exist anymore. So I'm not 100% sure on that.
But tomorrow, right? So it's Wednesday Comics, right?
It does come out tomorrow, yeah.
Wednesday Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my friends, thank you so much. You guys were all awesome guests. We're going to put you into the green room. Mike, what kind of snacks do we have waiting for our guests in the green room today?
We've got cashews and prune juice.
it's a bad combination.
and toilet paper.
Mike, I thought you liked these.
There's only one toilet that doesn't work.
All right, we're going to put you in the green room. Do not go far. AJ, we'll see you soon. Will, we'll see you. Lisa, in a few minutes. Ryan and Mike, it's just us. I think, number one, Oh yeah, there you go. Bring your own toilet paper. There you go. Mike, this was a crazy show. I've never done a show. We've never done a show with this many people, right?
This was really good. Lots of good insight.
There were so many people. I actually considered you and me not showing up and just having the 4 guests talk.
Yeah, you could have just put them on and chit-chatted.
Just let them. And hold on, let me just ask Lisa. Lisa, did I mess up any future chances by blowing reveals in my book?
No, but we'll talk.
Okay. So that means
you got a yellow card.
I got a yellow card. I think one of the greatest parts of all of this is that it really shows that you just have to manage your personal brand. You just have to be nice to people, and remember that what you say today, people might remember 25 years from now, right?
Yeah, you gotta get your stuff out there, and as we're always saying since the beginning of the year, you got to do the things.
You got to do the things. Oh, hold on. Jane asked, okay, Lisa, aside from, okay, Lisa, I gotta bring you back here. Lisa, aside from Secret Weapons One Shot, can we expect any more Harbingers related books in the future? By the way, Jim Garcia 98 asked me to ask you this while Mike and I were talking. So like, he has no interest in what I'm saying. He just wants to know about this Harbinger.
Well, there will be characters. There will be Syats coming out. A Harbinger book is not slated in this next future year coming up. However, the characters will be around. Look for a Harbinger book. Perhaps next year there will be a tie-in whenever the movie comes out, but I'm not aware of all of that. So yeah.
If you need anybody to write the movie, Mike's right there.
I do movies.
He does movies, and Mike, apparently, Harbinger is the comic that we're not writing together for Lisa currently.
Well, maybe one day.
Maybe one day. So, Mike, it looked like we had a really enthusiastic crowd. We thank, obviously, Lisa for bringing us together, and all the guests who came together. And for all of you who are out there dreaming of breaking in and making your own comic books, don't give up. Hold on, Mike. We gotta pull up the thing. Hold on. Vamp for me, Mike, while I try to remember how the keys work.
You're pulling up the cover?
No. What's our motto?
Do the things.
Mike,
find it.
Our motto for 2024 is do the things. Whatever the things are, do the things. And this is Mike and Buddy from Comic Book School. We will see you next Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. And thanks for joining us every week. We will see you soon.